Are we live?
Let's see. Yo, yo. Can you guys hear us, world? Let us know if you can hear us well.
Something like that.
Put that over there.
Yeah.
Thank you. You might need to inch in a bit if you want to.
Just a little bit. It's okay.
Get up close and personal.
Let's see. Oh, let's do the age-old classic jump on it with my phone.
Hello, testing, 1, 2.
Yeah, this is good audio. You can hear it.
All right. Let's see.
What is up, T.O.?
All right, I think we're good. What's going on, guys? All right. I think we're going to give it a minute, see if anybody else joins. And how was your day anyways, Mr. Andrew?
Dude,
What you doing today?
a lot of driving, man. Driving to Connecticut, driving to Springfield right after that, then driving back home.
In terrible weather, too.
You know what? It actually wasn't bad. Over here, the rain stopped like around 10. So that's when I went out into the road.
I mean, it was like, it wasn't pouring by that time, but it was definitely still coming down.
Well, where I had to go in Connecticut, they were still in the orange and purple section of the radar. So I was like, I want to let it.
What does orange and purple mean?
Like torrential downpour.
Oh,
Yeah,
got it. You had to tell somebody that you were gonna not be a overachiever, and you were gonna wait a while before you go in.
Oh, I hit up my client. I told him like, hey, just so you know.
So when I saw you, you said that you were waiting for a reply. Did they reply?
Yeah, they replied.
They were down for it? They were
Yeah.
like, no problem. That's good. All right, guys. So welcome to the live. Today, I have a One Piece example for my boy Andrison,
Here we go.
who doesn't watch a lot of One Piece.
And you know what it is, man? It's like, for me, the thing is when you know
what's the thing? What's the thing?
when you know that One Piece started when you were in the 6th grade.
Bro, Naruto didn't end that long ago. And Bleach is still going, and they all kind of started.
Yeah, but
time.
I followed that, like, and besides the fact,
They catch up.
One Piece is double the amount of like episode counts of these things.
You gotta watch One Piece. I heard like it's like it was done by fans, and they did what they did with Kai. With Dragon Ball Z, Kai, like they not only cut the fillers, but they worked on the pacing of the actual anime.
But if I'm correct, isn't One Piece one of the shows that has like the least amount of filler?
I mean, it still has a good bit. I mean, they did that also with Naruto. Like there was a fan based like thing that you could download that it had all the episodes kind of like stories that were either repetitive or were too boring. They like cut it. Well, you just have to download it. Like that's what you have to do.
What I did with Bleach is I just went online. I asked for like an episode list breakdown, and they put me like episodes 20 to 50 filler. So I just skipped that.
Yeah, but this is even better than that because you wouldn't even have to worry about it. You can just watch it. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's 1,000 episodes to do at this point right now. It's like, what is it?
I mean, I'm in episode like 700 and something, so I still got a bit to catch up myself.
Yeah, you do.
So,
But still, the fact that you're at 700, when did you start watching it?
I mean, I started way back when, and then I stopped, and then I started again.
Yeah, so you're like going on and off of what you did. Like for me to sit down and go through it, I think it equates to 7 months.
Well, you got time, dude. Got nothing but time.
Yeah,
You only got one kid.
That is true, but even with that one little kid, man, you know how it is.
Yeah. So check it out, guys. Today we are going to be talking about winning. How to be a winner without winning, essentially.
And you know one of the best ways to win is to like, share, and subscribe. Reform.
Yes. Like, share, and subscribe. So we got a anime story. We're gonna relate it to some Bible stories, and then I got some videos that I want to watch with you to see what you think. Cardi B may have a demon.
Oh Lord.
The Chosen may be demonic.
No, people are freaking out because The Chosen is like Mormon.
Well, I'm gonna show you a clip. Let's see what you think. But
cool.
So today I was thinking about, for this topic, I was thinking about One Piece, right? And I was thinking about one of the things that can become annoying about an anime, for example, like Dragon Ball Z and even Naruto, Bleach, is that the main character always has to have the spotlight and they always have to win. And as I was thinking about this, that's one thing that makes One Piece for me a little bit different, where the main character has many failures that he has to come back from, and he's not always like the hero.
You definitely are not watching one Naruto or Bleach then. They got these moments too.
Yeah, nah. Not like One Piece. So I'm gonna share the example today.
Yep.
And then we're gonna talk a little bit about how Jesus had to lose in order to win as well. So check this out. Let me introduce you to. Give me some space, bro. Man. Give me some space. Unless you want to drive. So check it out. So there is this arc called the Fishman arc, right? This is right after the time skip. So like, you haven't seen all of the, how would you say, all of the new powers that they have. You're just getting to like really know the characters again. Anyway, so they're going into the new world, and everything is like leveled up, right? It's all more dangerous. So they go to this Fishman Island. It's populated by fishermen, and it's populated by like mermaids, and they also like interspecies, and they have babies and stuff. Yeah. So like, it's a whole community. Anyway, so he goes down there. Have you seen? Oh, that's fake Luffy. So they come back, and then there's like a crew of like fake
versions of themselves.
of themselves, and they end up fighting them kinda. But anyway, so they have this intro going on, and then they go to Fishman Island, right? Now, one of the other cool thing about this is that One Piece is one of the few, I think, Attack on Titan does this too, where it shows, and it's not even racism, because racism, you have to be different races. So to an extent, they do show it, right? Because you have the humans.
Definitely shows it.
Well, yeah, you have the humans, and then you have the
Eldians.
The Eldians, but they're still humans, just with like whatever other stuff.
Like,
but this is like
different race.
But this is like completely different race species. Like, these are fishermen, and then you got the humans. This actually links way back to like the first arc, where Nami was when Nami was being like was enslaved by these fishermen. So actually one of the first enemies that they end up fighting are fishermen. Long story short, the reason why they were doing all that is because the humans mistreated the fishermen. They treated them, less than, etc., etc. So there's just like this whole animosity that they're going back and forth. But anyways, so there's this whole explanation that I'm not gonna get into, but these are some of the characters. And then eventually we get to the point where Luffy has to show off his strength, right? These guys are all battling, and this guy has the power to like touch something, and then he'll touch something else, and then it'll go wherever he marks it.
Oh, okay.
And there's a cool
like ability.
Huh?
That sounds like a really whack ability.
Well, think about it. Like, he could. Oh, so what happens is he touches this thing called the Arc, and they don't quite explain what it is. We still at this point, for me, I don't know what it is.
I'm assuming it's.
But
like
it's
the Ark of the Covenant.
No, but it's akin to Noah's Ark.
Okay.
In a way. So this guy, he's in love with a mermaid. She rejects him. He's like, I'm gonna destroy the city. So he touches the Ark, and then he sends it to destroy the city. So basically, you have this huge arc. I don't know if they show it, but this thing is like larger than a city, right?
Oh, wow.
And it's going, and it's heading towards them. And then now it's like, how are we gonna stop this? How are we gonna stop this? And then eventually, Luffy, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna break it apart. And let me show you Noah Arc One Piece. Let me see if we can just look at how big it is.
Oh,
so these are some
so
pictures.
it's legitimately known.
Yeah, so it's like, people like get on me like, oh well, all of these animes are not based on Christianity, and I'm like, bro, you can't tell me that they don't know about Christianity. Like, I'm just saying. Anyway, so look, so this is the ark. This is a good comparison of the ark with the city.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna annihilate it.
So it was gonna destroy the thing. Anyways, so Luffy doesn't have any other recourse but to try to break this thing apart.
Yeah. Before
it hits the island. So I got this quick clip, and we're gonna skip a little bit through so you can kind of see it. So he's just going ham on it, right?
This like reactivates like one of his gear powers or something.
But look, so this thing, so he's doing like his move. This dude is like freaking bleeding, like he's hitting this thing so much. Yeah, look, cause he was battling, so he's injured. So he says, I'm just gonna break it apart, right? And like, for me at this time, I was like, dude, is he really, like, how are they gonna pull this off, right? Is he really going to destroy this thing? So he's going crazy, and then somebody tells him to stop. So long story short, obviously you don't know everything that's going on, but these man, I forgot what these things are called. Sea Kings, I think they're called. Yeah, they're called Sea Kings. They end up catching the ark because it has like these chains.
Yeah.
So in a way, Luffy kind of slowed down the ark a little bit by destroying it, but ultimately he fails in his mission to quote unquote save the people. So this is like, for me, like one example of like, oh man, like Luffy is not going to be, the stereotypical character that always beats the odds. So in this case, he didn't beat the odds,
but is it really
and he
not
got
beating
assistance.
the odd because somebody else came in and still helped him save?
Yeah, but
is it really beating the odd like that though?
But he didn't save it. He didn't save. Yeah. He didn't save the city, although he tried by destroying the ark. But actually, there's like this whole I don't know what you want to call it, like not mysticism, but there's like a bunch of prophecy and background story that we haven't even gotten into, and I don't even know all of it. But long story short, Luffy fails but still succeeds in the fact that the city is saved.
So is that really a failure, man?
Huh?
Is that really a failure?
It is a failure. He failed. He didn't save it.
No, because the city still got saved.
Right. But not because of him. So, which leads me to my Bible reference for today.
All right.
Right? Jesus.
Yes.
Kind of similarly, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to fail in a way because he has to get captured and he gets crucified and he dies. So basically his enemies triumph over him, quote unquote, for 3 days, until he rises again. So in a way, in order for Jesus to succeed, he had to fail, according to human standards anyways. Does that make sense?
I get where you're going with it. I don't think that's the strongest. I think when you go on to the point of him and how he died, perfect. Yes, his death was considered to be a failure.
Yeah.
Right? But to say that he failed in the sense of being captured, that wasn't a failure. He gave himself up.
Right, but I'm talking about the perception of the people that were coming after him. Not us reading it. But I'm talking about for the people that captured him, they considered it a win. Like Jesus, they caught Jesus, so he failed.
They caught Jesus. They were able to convince one of the inner people to betray him. Okay, okay. If you're saying it in that sense, then I can see that.
But to then ultimately, he had to, quote unquote, fail, right, by human standards in order to succeed, because he was captured and he was crucified. But then ultimately, right, he's victorious because he raises from the dead.
Yeah.
Right. So then that got me thinking about our need, and we see it in anime a lot, to always be in the forefront and to always be the winner, right? And how God is not going to call everybody to be in the forefront.
Not at all.
It's kind of like the reminder, like that song from your art, the guy that you like, Lecrae, who is like,
oh, the song background?
Yeah, like I can play the background type deal.
That was a good song.
So like it's interesting to me that I think a lot of us, even when we're watching this, we want these guys to succeed and to win, but then at the same time, even in our own lives, we may just be setting up the stage for somebody else.
I mean, in Jesus' case, right? I guess you could say he was setting up the stage to see, we're setting him set up the stage for God to, for God the Father to show himself and win the victory.
And he did have to humble himself, really, because in a sense he did play the background to the Father.
I mean, well, he already
right? He had to follow his plan.
He already humbled himself coming down from eternal glory to be a regular human being.
That as well.
That's the first one right there.
True, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
He was, he is the physical incarnation of God, in essence, and then he gave everything away just to be able to give us the opportunity to have salvation. I mean, definitely, I'm gonna side more with you on the sense of his death is really like the ultimate. That's the place where Satan thought he really won. Like he really thought, like, hey, I got it, I finally caught him, and then it's like, nah, he comes right back and he's like, no, you thought you had me, but you didn't. I don't know, because it's definitely different though. Because I guess I'm struggling a little bit with this.
I can see you're struggling.
I'm really struggling.
Your gears are turning. Talk to me.
No, it's just right.
Chat, talk to me.
I guess for me, it's like I try and be very careful because when like I first heard it, I'm like, oh, this reminds me of a book that I once heard of, that kind of described like that, like this, like the cross was like in form, an area of defeat. Mm-hmm. But it didn't continue forward to be like, oh, but in reality it was victory. It's like, no, the cross was like the ultimate defeat. So I guess like part of me is just very like a little hesitant with that, because it's like we have to remember that the cross in reality is our place of victory. So in the area where Luffy failed, right?
But we're talking about the perspective, right, of how people perceived it or would perceive it.
Yeah, they would definitely perceive it as like, yo,
as like
Jesus
they won.
betrayed.
They got rid of Jesus. But even in that, right? Like let's take out let's say for people that don't believe in the resurrection, right? Mm-hmm. That Jesus didn't quote unquote, didn't rise from the dead and whatnot. He still succeeded in his quote unquote failure because he generated one of the greatest followings of all time.
That is still going on in the last.
That is still going on today
years,
in his death. You know what I mean?
Where was it in the Bible? Because somebody actually says that. I don't know if it was with the apostles or with Jesus, but there is a verse that the Bible talks about where it's like, well, it's with the apostles. They're like, well, if this is really legit, then we're getting in the way of God's work. And if this isn't legit, these guys are going to die like the last Messiah that came by and he died. There's a Bible verse that talks about that, where it's like, hey, if this is really from God, we should kind of just like watch and see if this is legit or not.
Oh yeah, did we have a class? I think we had like a class on this or something.
Probably.
Oh yeah, it was a ruler at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was in a class that we took where they said there was this guy that came up and said, hey, let's just look, if this thing ends up moving forward and actually gains traction, this would be something for us to consider, versus not. I think that was more or less what they were saying.
Yeah, but it was definitely way later on, and it was definitely New Testament. I just don't remember where exactly it was.
But I wanted to use this example to really talk about this whole notion of, we live in a society, and most of the stuff that we consume is like, you always have to be the hero. You always have to be the person that's conquering. Whereas even Jesus had to play the background for the Father's plan. And how do you then, as a Christian, kind of realize, when is God calling me to step forward, or when is he calling me to set the stage for someone else?
I would actually change that question. I wouldn't say when is it that God wants me to step forward and when God wants me to set it up for somebody else.
Change it. Let's see. Let's see if your wording is better.
To me, the question really should be should really be of more when am I gonna realize that I'm always in the back? When am I gonna realize that my role actually has been the background the entire time? Because I feel like here in Western,
like in the background to like God, or what do you mean?
In the background to God's full plan.
Now you're getting super Christian. Like,
What?
we're all gonna play the background to Jesus, bro.
Yeah, man. But it's like, think about it, right? Like, how many times do we really try and be like, all right, well, I'm the superhero in my story.
Jesus is in front of the line, and we're all behind that.
Yeah, but do we recognize that? That's an important question, right?
Fair
Like,
point.
do we recognize that we are not the hero in our own story? Like, we're not Luffy, we're not Ichigo, we're not Naruto, we're not none of these characters, dude. We're like side character 50 in the cast of like the whole thing that is life.
Here's a question. So do you think it's wrong for you to think of yourself as the hero of your story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk to me.
Because if it was by my own works, man, what does the Bible say? That our best works are no better than like a dirty rag.
But you could be the hero of your own story knowing that you're doing it through God, no?
No, because God is still the hero, dude. Think about it like this. Because I'm a big My Hero Academia fan. We are Deku pre-All Might. And God is All Might. Deku would not be able to do anything if it wasn't for All Might giving him his power. So there is nothing that we could do right if it wasn't for God instilling the power within us, guiding us, and then really leading us. So even though Deku is doing all this stuff in My Hero Academia, the real hero is All Might.
So how do you then move forward to doing your part in your story? Right? Because we're not puppets.
No, of course not.
You know, Jesus is not controlling us.
Well, it's like in the Dark Deku arc, right? Like,
wait, I don't. Well, I'm not that far.
Oh, okay.
If you want to catch me up and give me some details on it, but
oh man, no, it's great.
All I know is that it's stupid. He doesn't even go dark. He just goes emo for like a
Pretty
second.
much, yeah. He gets in his Linkin Park face for a little bit.
he goes Spider-Man 2 for like a second.
That was horrible. No, that was Spider-Man 3, dude.
Yeah, 3.
Wow.
Wait, yeah, it is 3.
Yeah, it is 3 because it was with Doc. 2 was with Doc Ock.
You're right.
No, but it's just that idea where it's like, even in those moments where we decide to like fall off of God's instruction, right? We still screw things up. So like at the end of the day, even though it seems like we're kind of moving all these major pieces and whatnot, you get to see in that arc how All Might is still kind of working. But then you see the human side of All Might where he fails, right? For us, God is really the one who is instilling and has everything going, and he's guiding and leading us, and he's helping us within our battles. But it's like, it all comes down to that pivotal point of like, we never could have made it to this point without him, right? It's like this old gospel song. I say old, right? It's not even that old. Marvin Sapp, he sings about how he never would have made it without you. In this case, he's talking about God. And, you know, this is a guy that, like, if I'm correct.
Kirk Franklin?
No. No. Marvin Sapp, like, this dude, like, his wife passed away, and he was able to preach and worship God during his wife's funeral. Right? Like, that's insane to think that it's like his wife passed away, and he's, like, still able to get up and worship God.
That is intense.
Dude. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's really more of just seeing like, well, what does it really mean to be the hero in our story, and who's really the hero? Because all the times that I try and do things by myself, man, I messed it all up.
I think most Christians understand that we're playing.
Oh, we have a role for sure.
You know, we're playing second fiddle to Jesus and God all the time, right? Like that's.
Do most Christians really think that, bro?
More sane, like all sane Christians do understand that. But
I don't know, man.
I think that for the Christians that understand that obviously God is first. If you don't, then you should. How do you then understand when you're setting the stage for somebody else versus you, God calling you to take the stage? Because I think like even for me, I feel like that would be a tough one for me to like Like, you know what I mean?
You really
Like,
think it's a tough one?
huh?
You're already doing it without even realizing it.
Yeah, but
All right, guys, let me give you a little bit of context into what I'm talking about. This guy right here, because we happen to go to the same church together. This guy happens to be the head of education. And he's completely flipped things upside down because instead of doing things at the way they used to be, you're developing leaders now to be able to take in other areas so that way they can move. So, yeah, you're the you're the quote-unquote head of the entire education department of the church, but you're allowing other people to be built up to be able to lead. So, in essence, yeah, you may be overseeing everything, but you are helping others to come up and come into that fold because you understand and recognize that for a church to function the way that Christ wants it to, it can't just be one person. Right?
Fair point.
So, like, you're doing it without realizing it.
But that doesn't mean that I don't struggle at times.
But we're all going to struggle.
You know, I think that, well, let's read up some comments before we continue. Let's see here. Yeah. You want to read it?
So, let's see. My wife, thank you for using your own account and not mine. She says, I think it's weird to not think of yourself as the main character of your story or life because God has a specific purpose for everyone individually. Very true.
Ooh,
he does.
Let's see. That's where I was talking about. Like, I don't know. Okay, I think that you watch a lot more crazy Christians than I do, right? Like on YouTube. So I think we come from like two very different perspectives. Like I think that you're more used to seeing Christians that don't even respect who God is. Whereas for me, my perspective is, Christians that understand that you're always going to be second fiddle to God.
Yeah.
Now, how do you, for example, become a John, like John the Baptist, knowing like my work is just setting the stage for Jesus. Yeah. So like my work is to be setting the stage for somebody that's gonna be coming later. That's crazy, man. Like that's because I think John was older, ended up because he was born first.
Yeah, but John was not even a year older than Jesus. John was a couple months older than Jesus, I believe.
True.
Because remember, him, Mary, and her cousin, they were pregnant right around the same time. And John leapt up for joy.
Yes, but so John, he could have been a few months. So like, do you
Elizabeth,
think that?
Thank you.
Do you think that Do you think that would be an easy thing for you to do? Be a John to like another person?
Yes.
Not God, but like another person.
Yes. 100%.
Why do you think that is?
Honestly speaking, when I think about like how I was raised, honestly speaking, right, I've never really had the best outlook of myself until I really started seriously walking with God and having a legitimate relationship. That's really where I kind of more understood my role, and I got to see how I can work with God. So for me, I've always like incorrectly played second fiddle to other people, and I think now it's more of like I have a healthy view of who I am within Christ and how I always just try and play second fiddle. Like this is like part of my character where it's like if God puts me in the spotlight for a moment in time, that's fine. But my mindset goes to how can I support other people in their role? Like to me, like you think about like what I do in church, right? I'm the director of the audio visual team. My role in reality is to support the worship team and the pastor, so that way we can get everything. Get the whole points, across the whole congregation in an effective manner. Whether if it's having the audio clear, or whether if it's having the PowerPoints up and stuff like that. So my role naturally is one of like, hey, I'm in the back. I'm not trying to be seen. I'm trying to make.
Does that bother you?
You know what? It used to. It actually used to. I used to start having an unhealthy understanding of like, well, I want to be in the front and I want to do all these different things, but it's like that first and foremost requires so much off of you. And you're under way more scrutiny. Yeah. So it's pressure. The pressure is ridiculous.
I think, excuse me, thinking about like the practical, like, John owned what his purpose was.
Yes.
Using Rafi's words, like John owned the fact that he was there setting the stage. But I don't. I am sure that he took pride in the work that he did, because he did
100%.
set up, what would become followers of Jesus through his ministry as well. And as I'm thinking about my role and what I'm doing now, like, I think pride, right? Taking pride in the fact that my role right now is to equip individuals, to help them become independent, to help them, become a force for good, if you will, or to break out of their shells and be able to, lead all these other ministries. Like, I think that understanding that role and that purpose that you have, even though it may seem like you're quote unquote playing in the background, I think that understanding your purpose and where you're going helps you not feel less than, I guess, if you will.
And you know what happens, though, at the same time, understanding that role is important, but it's also important to understand that we're not going to play the same thing forever. I feel like this is an area...
You're going to get your time in the light?
It's not even so much that. Like, if it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I just don't like the fact that us as Christians, we get so... What's up, Manny? We get so caught up in...
You have another Manny in your life?
Yeah, there's actually another Manny that I know before you, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, man. But
you're such a slut.
Oh, my Lord. But it happens in our lives where we get so complacent in where we're at and what we do that we don't want to improve. We don't want to try something different. And so that's where it gets a little scary, because there's a season for everything that we do, right? There's a season that there's a season in time where I was single. There was a season in time where, I was dating Maciel, I was engaged, all these different things. And in those different specific times, right, there were different things going on. But if we get complacent and we stay in that area, we start to fall out of God's order, God's will. Like, God doesn't want us to stay stagnant in what we do. So I feel like there's going to come a point in my time where it's like, if I just stay doing audio visuals and I don't do anything else, I don't improve, I don't continue to seek God's word and use that to help other people, I'm going to fall out of God's will.
True. Yeah, I think that there's a season to anything that we're doing. Let's catch up on some of these chats here. IMS says, I think understanding that it's ultimately God's will, and with our studying of the word and prayer, I will align with God's will, and that we be okay with not getting what we want.
Yep, that's very true.
Good point. I thought,
right
you
there.
Want to read this?
Yeah. So Rafi says, I think the reverse happens more often. I think some Christians settle more for the behind-the-scenes role more than leadership roles because of the commitment that is required to fulfill it. That is extremely true. That is so true. And that's another problem, too. We are afraid of commitment. We are afraid of pure responsibility. There comes a time where the Bible talks about, we shouldn't just be on milk the whole time, but we need to eat meat.
So, Rafi, are you advocating for people to step up to the forefront?
Oh, yeah, she is. 100%.
So that's an interesting thing, because, I think that I met was right on point. They, and you too, like, they are seasons. I think that there are seasons for you to step up, seasons for you to, take a step back and maybe let other people lead. And I think that finding that balance is key. Understanding when you're setting people up, when you're helping people grow, versus when you're just when you're meant to take charge and take a lead and then lead people somewhere. But the question is, how do you do that? How do you figure that out?
Well, some of us are born with it, right? Like, if you look at Luffy and how he is, even from the beginning, I remember like watching it on was it 4Kids TV? He was a
terrible version.
Oh no, that rap intro, man, was way better than any other thing I've ever heard. I remember that intro. But he understood that he had natural leadership abilities. Now, that's not the case with everybody, right? Some people have to develop their leadership skills, which is also okay. I'm not saying you have to be born with it, but yeah, there is a difference when you're born with leadership skills or not, but it's more recognizing what can you do and what are you good at and how you can help other people. Like, I happen to have an ear for music. I can hear things, like, as to...
I got no ears, bro.
And that's okay. But like, as we work together, right, I make sure that everybody hears you clearly when you're up there talking. And I make sure that the music is clear so that way you understand the words that are coming into what you're listening to. So that way, if the song's a little whoa, you can be like, yo, Anderson, why are we doing this song? Right? But,
yeah, man, I've definitely experienced being at other churches, and it's like...
And we all have different seasons, and there's all different areas and where we're growing. We're not capping on different churches, but...
Well, we're capping a little bit. We can cap a little bit. Why not? Like, it's a little healthy criticism.
Bro, I remember those humble beginnings, too, man, all right? I remember those humble beginnings. And it's tough. But continue to strive to be better.
No, for sure. Get better quick. No, but, I thought that it was an interesting thing to think about, because you always see, in most animes, you're going to have, like, the one hero that's doing everything. To Rafi's point, like that one person that's always picking up the slack. Yeah. That's just, carrying the team, if you will. And sometimes you just get tired of it. Like, you're watching, like, yo, nah, again. Like that's he's going to come in and he's going to, like...
That's what I liked about the Buu saga. Like, Gohan trained, became a beast again.
The Buu saga was a mess.
Bro.
It was a mess.
Gohan had amazing character development. So, Gohan had amazing character development in the Cell saga. And then he had amazing character development in the Buu saga. I mean, the Cell saga was better than the Buu saga for sure. But at least we get to see an older dude, and like the fact that he got mad when his girlfriend was getting beat up. That was some good development. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was some good but it's stuff. like what do we see with One Piece? Like, you have to be 500 episodes in to see like Zoro like take on the pain that Luffy's been going on. Like, I don't know the character development in this. So I can't speak onto that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely grow into their own. As the one thing that I like about One Piece is that it's balanced. Like, every story, every character has something that caters to their strength and what they need to do. Yeah. Like, not everybody... Because the thing is, like, in One Piece, not everybody has the same power. For sure. Right? It's akin to maybe, well, Dragon Ball Z, everybody has the same stuff for the most part. Like, it's just leveled up. But, Naruto, they all, everybody has different skills. So it's like that where they're going on different missions and everybody's kind of doing their piece to, finish that end goal. Sure. Rafi says here, besides David in the Bible, who else was the underdog that became a hero?
Abraham was a bum.
Okay.
And his faith was kind of towards him, right? So Abraham
maybe a little bit. Peter, I guess, he was an underdog for a little bit.
Absolutely.
But like a story, well, I think
Paul. That's an easy one, but Paul, he was the enemy, and then he betrayed the enemy. Yeah.
I feel like Peter might be a better redemption story, kind of like
the fisherman that became.
Yeah, not only that, but he betrayed Jesus and then ended up being like a pillar of the church. Yeah. Not the pillar, but a pillar.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, dude, I got a couple of videos that I want us to look at.
All right. So
by the way, if you guys have any videos that you would like us to take a look at, put them in the chat. Any questions as well. So,
what? I haven't seen these guys in forever. They're awesome.
All right, let me start with an easy one.
Yeah, these guys are good.
All right.
What?
Let me mute us so people can hear.
In the 7th episode of The Chosen, the show reimagined the conversation between Jesus and Nicodemus as found in John 3. This is where it is written, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life." This is such a well-known gospel verse that show creator Dallas Jenkins wanted to be accurate.
There's a great weight and responsibility when it comes to shooting this scene, almost more than any other scene we shoot. And so we really wanted to get it right.
But if you compare the scene with John 3, 1 through 18, you'll see the two conversations are quite different. Even the setting has changed. Lines have been added and moved around so that when Jesus gets to the words of John John 3:16, they have an altogether different context. At one point, Nicodemus asks, "Is the kingdom of God really coming?" And Jesus says, "What does your heart tell you?" What is this, Disney? At the end of the scene, Nicodemus bows before Jesus to confess he is the Christ. But Jesus says, "What are you doing? You don't have to do that." Everyone has to do that. The Bible says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. When The Chosen was confronted about this, they said, "Did it happen? We don't know, but it's very on brand." What? When did Jesus ever tell anyone they don't have to bow? This response is a great slogan for their show. Did it happen? We don't know. Let's see them put that on a t-shirt. One of the shirts they sell has this line from their Jesus: "Get used to different." Ironic, since this is a different Christ than the Christ of the Bible. Accept no substitutes when we understand the text.
Shots fired.
Oh, of course.
Have you seen The Chosen?
I've watched a couple of episodes. I haven't finished it.
Has anybody in the chat seen The Chosen?
My wife, same place. She hasn't finished it.
I watched 2 seasons, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't go back. There are people that are like super against the show itself.
Yeah, because a lot of the writers, and a lot of people that had inspiration in this are Mormons.
Well, the company is owned by Mormons, but that doesn't
Exactly.
mean that they're making a Mormon show.
I mean,
to me, I feel like that argument is a little silly.
that argument was very silly
Like-
because Jesus says in the Gospels that, he always says it, that my time is not here yet. When Peter says that, he is the Christ, he tells him, all right, good, you understand that because God has revealed it to you, but don't say anything yet. So, the whole point of that, I struggle with that because Jesus is very clear about, well, I don't want you telling everybody who I am just yet because now is not the right time. So, I have an issue with, this specific scene I have an issue with because Nicodemus doesn't go to that. This is already in itself an extremely powerful conversation that's very sarcastic.
Did you actually see that scene?
I didn't.
When you were watching? No.
I didn't, but just to see the fact that he bows down and says that he's the Christ when it's... When I have, at least from how I've always read it, is more of the fact that Nicodemus is like, what are you talking about? I have to be born again. He says it, how is it a man could enter his mother again to be born?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I would have to watch the entire interaction to remember. I don't think I remember anything stood out that was oh, this is crazy, blasphemy. I know that there's a lot of people that have a problem with you shall not create an image of God. So they think oh, you shouldn't watch the show because it's creating an image of Jesus. What do you think about that?
That's a weak argument. That's a weak argument because nobody over here is taking the chosen Jesus and worshiping him. And if you are, then that argument's valid. But that is so just out of place already. I mean, we already know Jesus.
Did you like the show?
I liked what I was seeing so far.
Yeah.
The first season was dope. I thought it was kind of cool to see how. Maybe it's a spoiler if you guys haven't seen it. This is the first season.
I mean, if you haven't read the Gospels.
I know, right? Hey, man, this is a introduction to the gospel for a lot of people, though. At the same time, and that's what I do like about it. But how they showed Mary being demon possessed, that wasn't clearly in the Bible, but I thought that was pretty cool. How within certain liberties you can go in that route, but that's,
I mean, they're inferring.
Yeah, but I do have more of a
happened.
problem having a lot more liberty when it comes to Jesus because it's just all right, this is Jesus we're talking about. This ain't just a
I mean, they show him
thing.
dancing and smiling, so.
But Jesus would have in the wedding when he turned the water to wine, bro. Jesus ain't no NPC.
Fair point. All right, check this out. This is right up your alley.
Oh my Lord.
Let me know what you think about this.
Lord.
By the way, Andy Song is the demon slayer in our church. He he slays demons all the time.
A demon slayer.
He's the resident demon slayer for us.
I watch the demon slayers, but I am not a demon slayer.
All right, peep this.
This is the sauce that they put on the ceviche, on the
Listen to what she says.
seafood ceviche. Now, I don't want to eat too much raw fish, but I love the sauce. Even though the one, hold on.
Watch.
Even though the one, hold on.
She just said demons.
Even though the one,
Out of her own mouth, bro.
I hate humans. Humans I hate.
That's what demons say. She wasn't saying that. That's a demon speaking to her.
I hate humans. Humans I hate.
Demons are real.
There's not a better video you could have picked. I mean, you want me? Oh Jesus, where? Oh man, you're gonna bring out conspiracyonity. You know that, right?
What are your thoughts, bro? Was that real? Was it fake? Is she like trying to call out like attention?
You understand that Cardi B is like super followed, right? She doesn't need to call for attention.
Okay.
Even though she still does. I mean, she's actually in the news now because of her relationship status that recently came up. I
have no idea what you're talking about, but
she broke up with her husband and the father of her kid. Alrighty, so here's conspiracyonity. When it comes to a lot of these people, not everybody, because there's a lot of hidden Christians inside of Hollywood. I personally do believe in the whole, like, people have to go through blood rituals and all these different things to become famous. I 100% believe in that. I have listened to testimony of people who used to be famous that are no longer famous because they wouldn't sell their soul to the devil or they wouldn't partake in certain acts with other artists and stuff like that. So I do believe that the devil is definitely infiltrated in Hollywood, in the music industry, 110%.
So you think like there's like third eye, Illuminati, all that stuff?
Oh hell yes,
on?
dude!
Like,
I was
real?
watching a video this today on the drive down to one of my clients talking.
You were watching a video while you were driving.
Listening to it. I mean, I had the GPS on, but I was listening to it, and it was the whole induction of a 33rd ranked master within the Freemason society and like the different things that they did. So this guy like recorded it and like all the symbolism and stuff that they're saying to get to that next level. Like, I truly do believe Satan is involved in a lot of this stuff.
So you think Cardi B had a demon like in that? Do you think like that was real? Like that was like a real thing?
Cardi B is weird, bro. So
Let's check the comments.
I wouldn't put it past her that it's just her being dumb, but I don't know, man.
I had demons in the past. It's a
place
place of mental torment.
Well, I mean, all right, so let's stop this real quick. Demon possession is legit. That is legit. I have seen it. 100% I've seen it.
You've seen this?
Yes. 100%. And I like that comment right there that J. Cole talking about. I'm tired of living with demons because they're always inviting more. Demon possession is a real thing, and if you do not have Christ, you can be possessed by demons. I truly do.
Do you want to clear up the fact that if you're in Christ, can you be demon possessed? All right.
Oh man, don't start there because
right.
I'm actually still researching that. There is such a thing as demon oppression, not demon possession.
Yeah, I don't think you can be possessed if
you can't be possessed
if you have Christ.
when you have Christ, but there is a train of thought that you can be oppressed by demons.
Like demons trying to torment you type deal?
Yeah, demons tormenting you, specific sins in one's life that we try and like hide. Right? Remember like how Pastor was talking this past Sunday about repentance, right? Repenting towards God and stuff like that. So there are some people on the more, I guess you would say, more charismatic side that do believe in demon oppression. And they clarify and state like if you really want good resources with that, the Remnant Radio is actually really good with this type of stuff, where they talk about oppression is very different from possession, because possession is also showing that
they're controlling you.
Exactly, that they own you, all the different type of stuff.
Yeah.
But we know that we're marked and sealed by the Holy Spirit. But there is the train of thought that there is oppression that we can face as well.
Yeah.
And
interesting topic. I've never ran into a demon in my life.
If you ask Mossy,
as of yet,
if you ask Mossy, the only reason she doesn't hear all this type of stuff is because I always have headphones on, but I'm always looking into this. This is something that I talk.
Because you're getting ready for the battle. I'm telling you, Andre is the demon slayer of our church.
If
Legit.
that's what God has it to be, then
Getting in there,
that's what it's gonna be. But
he has like holy water in his pocket at all times, ready to.
Listen, bro, the gift of the Spirit definitely interests me a lot. I still do believe that God is still setting people free. He is still healing. He is still doing miracles. I am.
You're continuous.
Yes. To the T.
What's the other one?
Cessationist. That's when you believe that all that stopped in Acts. I don't believe in that. I do believe that God is still moving about and working to this day.
Facts. So Cardi B, final verdict, was possessed by a demon.
We need to pray for Cardi B. We need to pray for people in Hollywood. I remember. Are
we called to pray for people in Hollywood?
We can pray for them, but they're around other Christians.
To be honest, I don't think I've ever prayed for people in Hollywood.
No, we should pray.
Have you? Like,
not always, but I have.
You have?
Yeah. But Matthew McConaughey, I think his name is. He's a practicing Christian, and he talks about pray for Daddy Yankee too. He just came to the Lord. Matthew McConaughey,
supposedly,
we'll see. Matthew McConaughey has actually spoken about how he has been denied of being in certain movies because he won't have sex scenes or he won't make out with other women because he respects his wife. And he's talked about where he's like, oh yeah, I've been at Grammy nominations and stuff, and I thank God. And I see certain people that want to clap, but they're afraid to because of their status within that. And he's like, and I won't give any names, but I've prayed with a lot of people inside of Hollywood when we have dinner and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that are in between that, and they're battling and they're fighting between, like, do I serve God? Do I serve the world? What if I don't make the same money as much anymore? And if, you're somebody that's fighting with that right now, trust in God. No matter what you think you're going to lose, God is more than enough. So trust in him with that.
That's crazy, man. I would never want to be famous, bro.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
thanks.
Yeah,
that's too much. That's too much attention.
It is a lot. And it's like when you're so worried about your image, and that's really where your money's coming from, right? Look at oh my Lord, Captain Sparrow. What's his real name? Captain Sparrow.
Johnny Depp.
Thank you, Johnny Depp. Remember how he was like ostracized from everything with the whole thing with his ex-wife?
Yeah.
And how she claimed that he abused her, and then it comes out that he didn't. He lost contracts with Disney. He lost contracts with mad people, and now everybody wants to come up, and he's like, yeah, I'm all like, we're never gonna see another Pirates of the Caribbean movie because of how Disney treated him. He's like, yeah, I'm all set working with Disney.
Yeah, maybe they'll. I mean, they can try to do like an offset, but I don't think he's gonna do anything.
You can't replace Johnny Depp, bro. You cannot.
I mean, he was okay.
Oh my Lord! Here we go. Play this video before we get an argument going.
Last video of the night. Let me know what you think about this. I thought like this was just like. Oh no! Wait. This is a different one. But let me know what you think about this one.
Oh.
No audio, bro.
You tell me, man.
Oh, I gotta click the button right here.
Having guy friends.
That's totally cool.
I've always had guy friends. He's met every single guy friend I've had.
I had girlfriends.
Some of my guy friends has literally watched his dog.
So you don't care if she were to spend time with them one-on-one?
No, I think that's insecure if you do.
How is that insecurity?
There's no insecurity.
I'm just secure with who I am. I'm secure in the relationship, and as long as you're secure in the relationship, everything works out.
You don't think her being in that environment with another man one-on-one would create a bridge between you two?
No, because at the end of the day, relationships are all about trust. And if you don't trust your person, you shouldn't be with them, right? So if you trust them enough to be in a relationship, in a one-on-one situation with a male figure or whatever, it doesn't really matter. If those friendships existed before me, who am I to say no, right? At the end of the day, as a man, it's about being confident. And if you're confident enough, it doesn't matter.
But why would your woman want to spend time with another man one-on-one if she has you?
Let me ask you a question. Do you have any friends that are females?
Maybe we gotta go.
How do you feel about?
You gotta go before it starts getting spicy. That's what it is right there.
She put an end to that quick. All right. So, do you think it is an insecurity for a man to not want his woman, as he said, to have male friends?
All right, so when you say male friends, are we saying that like there's just guys that she's friends with, or like guys she's hanging out one-on-one with?
I mean, it sounds like,
because if it's how he's describing it,
well, she has friends that like are walking her dog and stuff, or his dog. So you're like, you always just like there was a glitch for a second. You're like,
I mean, right? And my wife can say this. I'm not controlling. I'm not a controlling freak or anything like that. But
no, you sure?
No. But I mean, there definitely are boundaries to our relationship as to what we can do. Like the way that I used to hang out when I was single with other people, especially of the opposite sex,
is she allowed to have male friends?
I mean, you're her male friend.
Yeah, but I'm like family though.
True.
Like I'm married to her sister. So.
Yeah, true. I mean, she has male friends, but it's just more of like there is no like late night texting and stuff like that. But also, she set that boundary. You get me? Like,
so male friends with boundaries.
Yeah, for sure. I have female friends with boundaries, but
I guess let's define a friend, I guess. Because I think a lot of people, like somebody that you talk to here and there, like that's a friend potentially, right?
Yeah.
But like I see a friend as somebody that like that you're spending time with, knows things about you in your life, that what's going on. Like, is that permissible?
So like I think of one female who would fall into that category, but it's because I'm very close with her husband.
Your mom doesn't count.
No, yeah, my mom doesn't count. But like, there's one person that you and I both know that actually we were talking about earlier. I'm very close with him, and so his wife knows things because it's okay. You have given permission that they can share, so that way she knows as well. So she could be considered as a friend because she'll ask me how am I doing in certain areas. It's not in everything, but in certain things, right? But like to say that I'm constantly like calling or texting this specific female and just like, oh, I'm like, that doesn't necessarily happen. I have the confidence to do that with that person, but I preferred more to hit up her husband.
Would it be appropriate to like go out for a lunch?
It gets dicey.
Date, like a lunch.
It gets
thing?
dicey there, man. It definitely gets dicey.
To catch up.
It gets dicey, and I say that it gets dicey because I think of a lot of my previous relationships that I've had, like friendships with the opposite sex, and I don't know, man. Are you in a public setting where people can see you? Does your significant other that you're with somebody else too? Like, those are really more the things that have to be like set up in place. Like if I'm trying to catch up with somebody from like high school, like one of the girls that I used to know and stuff like that.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, I don't know, man. Like I got, number one, I don't keep a lot of friends.
Yeah.
But two, like if I need to talk about my feelings to like a friend, like,
yeah,
why don't you just like talk to your male friends? Like, what do you gotta go to like a female? I don't know. I feel like you're almost searching for something. It's a little weird. I don't know. At least in my opinion,
and that's
and
where
vice
it gets,
versa.
That's
I don't
where
know.
It gets complicated.
I feel like
that's complicated.
Yeah, I feel like for me and my wife is just kind of like it's crazy because like I know, like I thought like this was just like normal, like it's just like understood, like
no,
I'm not getting close to any like females like that. I'm not going out to like lunch or anything like that, right? But I know of people that do have like more close relationships, opposite sex, and it's like causing issues in their relationship, and then they're like talking about how they don't understand how like their girlfriend or whatever is upset about it, or their wife, and it's just like, I don't know, bro, like it's just like it's kind of weird. Like, what are you searching for?
I mean, again,
I don't know.
Some people don't have issues with it. The biggest thing that I look at it is more of like, how is it that my wife feels? Like, if I know that my wife is bothered, that I'm going to go have lunch with this specific person. She knows that maybe I had a history with them back in the day or not, whatever the case is going to be. Like, at the end of the day, I'm going back to my wife, not to this person.
And why would you put like another person's feelings above like your wife?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
you're going back to your wife. You're not going back to that person.
Yeah, it's for me. Unless like my wife is like some crazy nut, it's like if she feels uncomfortable, then I'm gonna lean on the side of my wife than I would ever like lean towards a friend or somebody else that that I knew.
But again, this is also why we're so just so you guys know, we're actually doing like a couples thing in our church. Specifically just in building couples relationships and stuff like that, because that happens, right? Like there are certain things that just as guys sometimes that we just think, oh well, this has always been okay and I used to do this for the longest time, and we don't recognize the strain that it has on the relationship. Like I think back when I was single, end of high school and college, like I'd be out 2, 3, 4 in the morning
partying it up. Not
even partying. I mean, I guess, yeah, you was partying, but I wasn't, like, getting drunk or anything like that. But I was hanging out with people that were partying. But it's like, I was just chilling with my friends. But, like, I don't do that now. Like, right? Like, when I got engaged.
Yo, I'll be home at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Like, literally, the only way that happens is if I'm chilling with you, and then we don't do that. But, like, when I got engaged, like, that life of Andrison stopped. You get me? Like, I also...
Wild Andre was over.
I mean, Wild Andre never died. He's wild in other ways. But that stopped because I also recognized, like, hey, I have a fiance at that point in time right now. She's not going to like this. And blah, 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 blah. And then that's when I stopped going home, like, at 3, 4 in the morning on the weekends.
But at that point, you weren't... Just so we're clear, you weren't living together or anything like that. You guys,
no. Yeah.
You guys were engaged, but living separately. But you chose to just kind of limit yourself out of respect and all that.
Yeah. Besides, I got in trouble doing that. So, on my wife, just don't have friends, problem solved. Nah, it doesn't work like that.
What do people need friends for? You know what I mean?
Nah, dude. It's
all about family.
There are people that
Fast and the Furious 10.
Oh my lord! You mean 55, right? No, I think it's important to have friends, man. I think like I have a friend of mine that we've been friends now.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah. Yeah.
If your wife,
yes,
had a problem,
yes,
with a friend that was your friend before you guys met. Would you cut things off for your wife?
Same sex or opposite sex?
Same. And she was just like, I don't like this guy.
That definitely happened. The person I'm speaking about right now, she had issues with, but I kind of just explained like, hey, like this is like somebody like known him for freaking too long. But a really good friend of mine, he's a car nut just like me, and we kind of just, we'd always just been there thick and thin. And, obviously how he changed as a person changed a lot because, he got engaged, he had a kid, he bought a home. So he also grew up. So when she got to see that other side of him, she's like, oh, okay, this is like kind of okay. But in the beginning, yeah, it was like hey, I don't want you really hanging out with this person. But it's like, nah, like this person has kind of grown up with me, and we got to see a lot of stuff together. And
so you didn't give up the friendship for your wife?
No. I mean, what's cool with him, though, is that he also understood that, being engaged and being married, like, that took more time, more than anything else. Like, that's one thing that I do appreciate to a lot of people that I ask friends. Andre, ask many questions, get us out of the hot seat. Yeah,
I don't know. This doesn't want to know anything about me. So.
No, but like that's something that like I do appreciate with a lot of my friends and everybody that watches this, and whether we've had history or not, I appreciate you guys also understanding that life changes. I got engaged, then I got married, and I got a kid, and
bro. I mean, life changes like when you get married. I think it's the first change where you can't be out late like that. I mean, you can, but it's not like you're gonna do that every weekend.
There is nothing good in Lawrence
after 10.
At 10. Or whatever city, right? Hanging out in Boston, there's nothing good at that time.
there's cool stuff happening at 10.
Bro, every time that I was out in Boston,
we could go to Boston at 10.
I know we could. But the last time I was out super late at Boston, I didn't get back home until 5 in the morning.
Dang.
Because I was out driving around driving around like an idiot. Freaking popped a tire. I had to call another friend of mine to go pick me up, to take the spare to like a tire shop, to then drive back into Boston, put it on the car, and then drive it back home finally.
Jeez.
Yeah, when I was out at Boston late at night, there was nothing good going on.
Bro, not only that, but once you have kids, it's like you're not out past 8 o'clock. I mean, bro. Your kids are in bed. Where you gonna go? Like,
well, my son's in bed right now.
I mean, you give him a little medicine.
No,
help him sleep through the night.
Listen,
you can go out, do your thing, come back.
Listen, nah, man. Those days of me, well, I can't say those days are over, but because I'm a car nut at the end of the day, man. When I can see myself situated, I'll put my speakers in.
I could like see you in like a Fast and the Furious scene. Like there's two people getting ready to race, and you're like in the midst of it all, like, yeah.
Nah.
Van Diesel, where you at?
Nah, bro. Listen, the car scene here where we live is not like how it used to be. Like a lot of like my car people that I know, man, where we live, it's definitely just changed a lot. I'll put it to you like that.
Facts.
So it's like, my car stuff, it's a very small group of people that I'm involved with car stuff.
And this one in his 60s is gonna be out racing.
Still gonna be wild,
racing
man.
Out,
dude. But this guy's now, man, like super off topic, but like there's this guy that had an interview done that he supposedly is the guy that was the inspiration for the Fast and the Furious. The inspiration for Fast and the Furious was over in Hunts Point in New York.
Some 80-year-old guy racing.
Nice. The guy's like 60 now, but he's still racing. And like
Man.
professional level racing and stuff like that. So it's like,
there you go. Your dream can still come true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, 2024, bro. I'm buying my Lexus, man. That's the goal right there.
There you go. You're manifesting. You're manifesting it into reality.
Guys, anyways, we don't believe in that. Just FYI.
It's past 10. I got to wake up early tomorrow. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I got to see you tomorrow morning in the gym.
Yes. Don't be late. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Let me see. What's today? Today's the 11th. All right. So we got one more Monday. We'll be live next Monday, but the Monday.
Yeah, next Monday I'll actually be here. I actually will be.
Okay.
It's Tuesday that I go to fly into New York.
Nice. Yeah, you got to move those to Tuesdays. You're messing with their schedule. But the 25th obviously is Christmas, so I'm going to be with family. You're going to be with family.
I'll be driving back from New York.
We shall not be doing a live on this day, so we'll catch up on the 1st. Maybe, I don't know, man. We might have to do it on the 2nd because the 1st is going to be rough. New Year's Day. It's
New Year's Day. You're not getting drunk. I'm not getting drunk. I think.
Well, actually, it'll be in the afternoon. Yeah. All right, so we will be here on the 18th, 25th. We'll take a break. Anyways, thank you for joining us. Andy, do your stuff,
guys. Like, share, subscribe. If you know somebody that cares about anime, and
I'm officially paying Anderson to say this. He's really good at it.
I just watch enough videos to do this. That's all it is. But if you know somebody that is interested about the Bible and you don't know how to start it up, send them a video because we'll hit the anime topics and then we'll get right into the word. We are here for you guys almost every single Monday. If I'm not here, it's because I'm out visiting some other clients in the state of New York. I'm between Mass and New York. That's just kind of how it goes.
And put in any videos that you want us to check out on the live. Put a comment in. Let us know. We'll view it on the next live.
Keep in mind, guys, that Manny is on top of it. So if you want to send a direct message to Reform Nerd 7 on Instagram, you can find him there. Are you on Facebook too?
I don't really check Facebook. Instagram, put a comment in on YouTube. I'm pretty much on YouTube most of the time. But
so send us some stuff. If you have a video, even if you have a topic you want us to hit on, we'll jump right into it.
Comment on this video and I'll see it for sure. All right, guys. We are signing off. As always, just want to remind you that
you must persevere.
You must persevere. Peace.